We missed this one yesterday. Serge found it. China sends mystery transport planes into Iran. Flight plans indicate a final destination of Luxembourg, but the aircraft appear to have never flown near European skies. Take a look at this map. This is fascinating. You can see all of the planes that are avoiding this area for a good reason. Iran, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Israel. Ain't nobody flying over these countries right now. Save for a few. We've got this one, CLX 9877. They say the day after Israel attacked Iran on Friday, a cargo plane took off from China. The next day, a second plane departed from a coastal city. Then on Monday, yet another departed, this time from Shanghai. 3 flights in 3 days. They say to add to the mystery, flight plans indicated a final destination of Luxembourg, but the aircraft appeared to have never flown near European skies. Aviation experts have noted the type of plane used, Boeing 747 freighters, are commonly used for transporting military equipment and weapons and hired to fly government contract orders. Quote, these cargoes cannot but generate a lot of interest because of the expectation that China might do something to help Iran, said Andrea Giselli, a lecturer at the University of Exeter, who specializes in China's relations with the Middle East and North Africa. They're going to mention that China and Iran are strategic partners, aligned primarily in their opposition to the U.S.-led world order and in favor of a new multipolar phase in global diplomacy. They mention Iran is one of China's key energy suppliers, sending as many as 2 million barrels of oil a day. So it's no surprise that Beijing might be looking for ways to support and stabilize the Islamic Republic. Now, I'm wondering, could these have been evacuations? Maybe they're trying to, Trump says the Ayatollahs, we know where he is. We can get him when we want to. Could these planes be meant to get people out of the country safely?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it could be anything. We were just talking.
I don't see why they'd be bringing in military equipment, to be honest.
Maybe though,
unless it's uranium.
They could have been bringing in components. Something.
Microcontrollers, chips for
maybe something to do with air defense. I really have no idea. It could be anything.
What about you, Brett?
Yeah.
Is there any movie that you've seen that will explain what's going on?
Actually, the thing that I thought was funny about it is like, what if somebody's really need to get to the other side really, really fast? They're like, look, we're not going to go around. We're just going to. It's like, sure, a missile might hit us, but we've got places to go.
Well, that is this story. Check this out, this tweet.
Can I call somebody?
Yeah. Well, I mean, who is it?
His name is John Kasapoğlu. He works with me. He's a Turkish open source military analyst. He'll have an idea. Do you want to try to do it?
I mean, yeah, if he doesn't mind being live to, millions of people, I guess.
We'll find out. Here we go.
He's going to be like, what do you mean I'm on the air?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to phone a friend to get an answer
Yeah.
as to what these Chinese transports are.
Their rules.
In the meantime, while you're getting him on the phone, we have this one. Alex Fazio posted this image. Someone wasn't monitoring the situation, and there's a lone UAE flight going straight over Iran. I love this. Patrick Blumenthal said, quote, I deleted my social media and stopped reading the news, and honestly, my mental health has been so much better.
See,
I'm
pilot.
I'm on air right now on a podcast to millions of people, and I want to beam you in. Is that all right? Yeah, to millions of people, and I want to beam you in. Is that okay? Are you ready to?
Just say yes.
Okay, here we go. I'll put you on.
Yeah.
What's that?
You can just,
Like that? And he'll be able to.
On top, on the top part.
Really?
No.
Use your mouthpiece, put it on the top of that.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, okay. All right. And don't put it on speaker.
Nope.
No, don't put it. Can he talk? Maybe we can hear him.
Hey, John, talk.
No, I can't hear him.
Okay,
You
hold
might
on.
have to do the earpiece.
Speaker.
Here, I'll just
Put it on speakerphone.
Okay, talk now.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now you can put it up to the microphone.
Okay, now put up the microphone. So John, we're looking at a map, and there was in the Telegraph. There's this report that a Chinese plane, or
Three of them.
three Chinese planes, a couple of days ago flew into Iran. What do you think they did? What are they doing?
Depends what kind of planes they are. Are they cargo planes?
Yes.
Like strategic lifts?
Yes, cargo planes.
So if they're cargo planes and if they're Chinese, I would say my number one guesstimate would be solid propellant components for Iranian missiles.
Wow.
Really?
My second guesstimate would be guidance systems or microprocessors for, again, Iranian missiles. My third guesstimate, and these are all I'm ranking them according to their probability, my third guesstimate would be a Chinese attempt to boost Iranian air defenses or electronic warfare systems, but this is helpless against Israeli technologies. I know the Iranians use Chinese anti-ship missiles, but I don't think in this case they are looking for them. Iranian Shahid drones have Chinese DNA, so my fifth guesstimate would be some drone components. But if I had to bet on one thing, I would say is Iran needs solid propellant medium-range ballistic missiles against Israel as a counteroffensive deterrent. And I know that the Israelis hit their solid propellant production facilities hard back in October 2024. Wow. So if they had one chance to go Chinese for something, and if I were advisor to Khamenei, I would go for this.
Okay.
So the full missiles?
No, the solid propellant, because missiles are like missiles are like superstructures. So you have to produce the microprocessors, mission computers, multiple re-entry vehicles, the fins, the airframes. The part that the Iranians are mostly depending on the Chinese is the solid propellant fuel for the solid propellant ballistic missiles. Why solid propellant is very important? Because it minimizes the launch cycle almost 3-to-1 compared to liquid fuel systems, and it is very important in two kinds of situations. First, if your adversary is flying over your airspace and looking for your transporter erector launchers, which is the cool way of saying the vehicles that launch your ballistic missiles. And second, if you want to boost the surprise factor against your adversary, like a blitz, like a lightning attack.
Interesting.
I want you to know John's getting married on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
And
yeah, thank you.
And it's in the middle of the night for him.
Oh,
this is 3 a.m.
Oh, wow. Thanks for calling in.
This is the
hot sneeze.
Whenever I have a question about what's happening militarily in the world, I can call him up in the middle of the night, and he never complains, even when he's about to get married.
I think it sounds spot on. This is actually what you and we were just speculating as to what this may be, components for missiles or something, or
but he said it with a much greater degree of certainty.
I know, it's fantastic.
Yeah, the Chinese, actually, we know that the Chinese wanted to ship those to the Iranians. And some news stories suggest that they did it. But 100% we know that they tried to do that by sea lanes. But if they dispatched an airlift, a strategic airlift, and if it is really solid propellant components, it means that the Chinese and the Iranians, because they are the demanding party, they were in a hurry, literally. Yet again, there comes another question. If they were in a hurry, why in the world their generals were sleeping in their beds in the country apartments of Tehran?
Yeah.
So I looked it up. 3 cargo planes, 747s, can carry 360 metric tons of solid fuel.
Yeah.
793,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Woo.
And it would equip high double-digit numbers of medium-range ballistic missiles.
Wow.
Yeah.
The internet says it could be 12 ICBMs, 24 to 36 MRBMs, and 60 to 90 SRBMs.
26 MRBMs? No, much higher.
So
much higher, because you can play with it. Look, it is like a child's play. If you reduce the warhead weight, then you need less fuel.
Yeah.
For instance, the Khorramshahr missile that the Iranians fired, signal fired, it is more than test fired, signal fired a few days ago, the warhead was almost empty. They wanted to show something. Yeah.
Right.
So it depends.
Wow.
But it's going to get dangerous because they have some toys that they haven't demonstrated yet. Like Fatih 2, Khorramshahr with an actual warhead. The actual warhead is more than 3 times the the warhead of the Hajj-Qassam missiles, for instance, or Emad missiles that they have been throwing at the Israelis.
So is it possible that right now Iran is using weaker warheads to try and run out the interceptors?
I wouldn't say the weaker warheads. I would say the mid-range warheads in their arsenals. Like these are not the weakest links in the overall Iranian arsenal, but these are not the rock stars either. Like the rock stars are still waiting.
So the question was: is it possible that they're holding back somewhat in order to run down the magazine of the Israelis?
Yeah, of course, because you look like the magazine depth, the interceptor magazine, which interceptor we use it for defensive missiles that intercept other missiles, like the Arrow missiles, like the THAAD missiles. So the magazine depth is at the highest point during the opening stages of a conflict. Okay, so you want to throw, you have to be very careful. Like you want to throw your less important assets in the beginning of a conflict to deplete the adversary's interceptors, but you cannot go very weak and very low with that, because also you have to signal that you are powerful and you are capable of inflicting damage to your adversary. So what the Iranians are doing right now, like Hajj-Qassam, Emad, these kind of missiles, this is the sweet spot, and I think their choice of weapons are really good. I would advise the same if I were advising Khamenei, if I were on the dark side.
Interesting. Wow. Thanks, man. This has been very insightful.
Okay, John. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Like I'm going to be awake for 1 more hour. My fiance is sleeping here. She hasn't left me yet for some reason. I don't know. Mike is coming all the way from United States, like continental United States, to my wedding just to apologize.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm starting my relationship with your wife, on a really nice foot. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow, that was amazing.
That was awesome.
He is amazing.
Basically, he just gave us the.
He's amazing. Do you remember when there was that missile that went into Poland?
Yeah.
And there was the
When it
question: did Russia strike Poland, or was it a Ukrainian interceptor? And there was a report that came out saying that a Western intelligence official had said it was a Russian missile. And he immediately said he looked at the picture of the engine. There was a picture of the burnt wreckage of the engine, and he immediately said, "No, this is a." He did it like an intelligence analyst. He said, "There's an 85% probability that this is a Ukrainian interceptor." He said there is one possibility that it's a Russian missile, but in that case, it has to have been fired because of the distances from Belarus, and we don't have any information that the Russians have these missiles in Belarus, so it's really probably the Ukrainian. And he did that just from looking at the records. I don't know anyone else who knows the all of the technical details to that level.
So rocket engines.
He was saying how many missiles could they fuel with 360 tons of fuel?
He said high double digits, I thought.
Yeah. So what ChatGPT gave me is short-range ballistic missiles could be between 60 and 90 missiles fueled by those 3 flights from China.
Yeah.
But it's the medium ranges are the ones that are doing the real damage on the Israelis.
Right. It says 24 to 36, but of course then he made the point they can reduce the warhead yield so they can get more flight time, really play with it.
Does it surprise you that this story got missed by so many people, given all the implications that there are for that?
Yeah. I mean, people were making jokes about the
literally
UAE
flew
flight.
under the radar.
Well, there's that. Let me pull that one back up. Let's go ahead and grab it. This image of the single UAE flight going over Iran that everybody was sharing. Nobody thought to share the one of the 3 Chinese cargo planes going into Iran and then taking off and going to Europe. Now, the question is, why would they allow them to then come into Europe? That's a crazy thing. I mean, I guess what do? China's supplying Iran with something.
Did they go to Europe? They said they were going to go to Luxembourg, but then they never showed up.
Is that what it said?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
They faked Luxembourg.
I thought it said.
Meaning that the plane is still there,
No,
or that it just veered, it turned around.
It just went, instead of going to Luxembourg, it went to Iran.
Is that?
I think that's what it said.
Flight plans indicated a final destination of Luxembourg, but the aircraft appeared to have never flown near European skies. Oh, okay. I was assuming that meant past tense.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean-
they had never been to Europe before. I see what it's actually saying. My mistake.
I don't know if like flight plans tell you the route that they intend to take. Like I don't know if they generally would say we're going to Luxembourg via, Tehran. But
I didn't realize these things could carry 120 tons.
they're big.
Yeah, that's 747s.
Yeah.
Yo, that's wild. So they say Cargo Lux, the Luxembourg-based company that operated the planes, said its flights did not utilize Iranian airspace, but the firm did not respond to questions about what they were carrying. Cargo manifests are not considered a matter of public record, and though any dangerous goods or special loads have to be declared to the operator and handling agents, information provided could be inaccurate or misleading. China has tried before to send weapons disguised as commercial goods, labeling drone components as wind turbine parts, according to shipments intercepted by European authorities.
Technically, they are wind turbines.
Indeed.
It does raise an interesting question about what China will do. Let's say things get really desperate for the Iranians. What will China do? I don't think it'll intervene militarily, but will it take some kind of steps to bolster the Iranians? I don't know. I don't know what those would be.
It said that Iran was their largest energy provider, right? Who's
2
their
million barrels per day.
Who is their second largest?
Let's pull a list.
Probably Saudi Arabia.
Like that's because then the question is like, what would you do to protect the number one source of energy for your country, right?
It's as much a strategic relationship as it is an economic. They benefit from the fact that Iran gives them oil at very cheap prices, but it also helps them because Iran is the most disruptive actor in the region, and the United States has no influence over it. So if anyone in the region, if our allies want help with Iran, they're inclined to go to Beijing.
Does it say?
This doesn't say that Iran is their biggest. It says Saudi Aramco.
Saudi Arabia.
Rosneft, Russia. It makes sense that Russia would be a bigger energy provider because they just call it a cold. The foreign policy guys call Russia like a cold gas station.
Yeah.
That's what they sell. They sell energy.
That's their whole
ExxonMobil provides a lot to China as well. Shell, Woodside Energy. Yeah, I don't know. This said Iran is one of their top energy partners, one of their key energy suppliers, whatever that means.
They buy from everybody.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how much of a threat a fractured and shattered Iran would be to the region, though, and how much China is concerned about it.
Concerned, very concerned. The big if Iran were to fracture, of course they'd lose an ally because they have China. It's China, Russia, Iran, North Korea against us and our allies. But if Iran were to actually fracture, I think the big winner in the game will be Turkey, because the one third of all Iranians are Turks.
Interesting.
And so it will change the the ethnic composition of Iran. It could actually break it up, but more than likely, I think there would just be an Iran that had a more Turkic flavor to it.
People need to understand the region, and a lot of people don't even know where Iraq and Afghanistan are. But you can see Iran borders Turkey. So,
and the whole northeast quadrant of Iran is Turkish speaking, Azerbaijani Turkish speaking.
Very interesting.
So Turkey and Azerbaijan are allies.
And there's Kurds up there. Don't forget about the Kurds.
There's Kurds there. There's Kurds there too, but the overwhelming population the Kurds are down a little bit, closer toward the Iraq. Up in the northeast quadrant, it's overwhelmingly Azerbaijani Turks, and Turkey and Azerbaijan are allies. So you'd have a Turkic population in Iran that would have strong allies right across the border that could help them out. So that's gonna happen, I think, anyway, one way or another. I don't mean that Iran is going to crack up. I mean the ethnic mix in Iran is going to shift, and it's going to shift to the advantage of the Turks.
You know, it's such a strange coincidence how, Iraq and Afghanistan, these two countries we just had to invade, just so happened to surround Iran.
They did.
But you say it like that. When we went into Iraq and Afghanistan, we took out the enemies of the Iranians.
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein and the Taliban were both hostile to Iran.
But as far as Iran's concerned, they were just replaced by someone else hostile to Iran.
Yes.
So I'm not sure the equation was made better.
No, that's the way some of them saw it. But I think that they found this pretty easy to play.
Yeah. I know that.
The Iranians?
Yeah. That's how I see it. I think that this is the toughest we've ever been with Iran. And it's not us. I mean, the other day, Donald Trump said, or yesterday, that I control, or we control the skies over Iran, but we're not doing that. The Israelis are.
Ted Cruz said we're striking Iran.
People are saying it's a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Or the royal we.
Yeah.
It's our allies that are engaged in this with our interests.
It's our alliance. And
yeah.
How harmful is that to Trump at home now, with polling saying that people are that CNN reporting that people are in support of what he's doing, and then maybe I'm just kind of fractured and living online, but the anti-war right has a problem with this, and it's causing problems. It's causing discontent.
So, in my opinion, there's a significant sliver of the anti-war and anti-Israel right that don't want Trump to do any of this. The majority of people that would consider Israel an ally, they're fine as long as the U.S. doesn't actually invade.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's where we're at now.
Yeah, airstrike. They're mostly fine with airstrikes, if I understand correctly, and this is from the polls that I've seen. But they don't want to see Americans on the ground, and I think that just so long as we don't end up with a situation of Americans on the ground fighting in Iran, I think that this will be a total non-issue, just so long as it doesn't turn into the U.S. trying to go in and change the
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you think they end up with boots on the ground?
No.
No?
No, because
go ahead.
No, I'm far more interested in what you've got to say, and so viewers.
You said they, you mean Americans?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But there's a significant chance that the Israelis will go in. If Trump decides not to, it's one of the reasons why I think Trump will decide to bomb, because if the Israelis are gonna destroy Fordo, and if we don't destroy it with the bunker busters, then they have to go in on the ground. But then that creates dynamics that could end up being more destabilizing than if we just went in with the bunker busters.
So we're going to have planes over Iran, like American planes.
Yeah.
And if an American plane gets shot down, is that perceived differently then?
In the eyes of
in the eyes of the American people, does that change things entirely? If an American plane gets brought down, are they going to look at it differently than if we were to send boots on the ground?
Yeah, I think so. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm just curious about it, because I can only go through like what my what it looks like reflected back at me, and most of the people that I interact with are kind of given the platform that Trump ran on, no wars in his first term, peace through diplomacy, foreign policy through diplomacy, and what you're seeing right now. One of the questions that I had was like, would he have handled this differently if he was in a first term and seeking a second term?
Remember in his first term when he struck Soleimani and he said to take out ISIS. So those are two things that really kind of cast him as credible when he makes a use of force threat. And I think that this particular issue, he will in the future use this as the evidence that he's willing to use. He's still willing to use force, and because of how powerful the United States military is, that threat comes with real danger. But I think that he will not. He'll still try to avoid using force, and he's going to use this as his quote unquote trump card to be like, you don't know, maybe I will. I'm crazy like that.
It's a credibility enhancer if he does it.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.